Thanks everybody for joining us for Facebook Live. We're sitting down with Oded Karev, the head of our robotic process automation organization. Thanks Oded for joining us on Friday, especially before this Memorial Day weekend. Glad you're here. Today we're here to talk a little bit about Neeva, but before we jump in, there's some recent news that we should jump into and talk a little bit about, which is your recent recognition, or the robotic process automation's recent recognition in the Everest Group's RPA PEAK Matrix. So for those of you that are listening in, NICE has been designated as a leader in the Everest Group RPA PEAK Matrix. So congratulations to that. Let's start off there. But let's talk a little bit about that placement. Can you share with us a little bit about your view of why NICE and your organization did so well?
Yeah. So the real answer lies with Everest. You need to ask them or read the report and see why they decided to rank us that high, and we're very happy with that. But the key to being ranked high in any analyst report, it has 4 components. You need to have a very strong product. You need to have a very strong roadmap and vision. You need to execute upon that vision, so not only promise the analyst on 1 year and then not deliver on what you plan to do. So if you bring in a vision or innovation, you need to deliver on it. And after you have all these 3, you just need to very effectively communicate with the analyst firm. So once you did all that, you're good. So we knew we had a very strong product. NICE have had the strongest product automation or robotic process automation product in the market for years. What we were lacking is a very strong vision, and then launching a lot of innovation to that. And recently with our launch for the Automation Finder and Neeva, which we're going to spend a lot of time on, definitely that helped boost our place, not only as a current great provider, but also as a partner for customers to work with for the long run and kind of develop their roadmap or be partner for their automation journey.
So Dad, I was able to sit in the room with you recently at Interactions. You were on the main stage at the event in front of 2,000 of our customers, and we made a big announcement. We made the announcement of Neeva. So let's start with Neeva. Neeva is an acronym that kind of stands for
NICE Employee Virtual Attendant.
So tell us a little bit about Neeva. What's the news? Give us the details behind it.
So first of all, it was a lot of fun to kind of launch Neeva on that event, the biggest event that NICE ever had, and more than 2,000 customers and partners there. Neeva is a very unique solution in the market that has the employee in mind. Part of the vision that I mentioned before is the NICE, we have a tagline for NICE Automation, which is automation for the people. We believe that the human element is there to stay in process execution. We believe that organizations should not overlook the human element and the employee, and robotic process automation is not there to replace employees. It's there to enhance employee performance and have them more efficient, smarter, happier, providing better experience to them end-to-end customers. And with that in mind, we developed Neeva. Neeva is the natural evolution for robotic desktop automation, and Neeva is the employee personal attendant. The acronym Neeva stands for 4 words, but each one of them have a big importance. N for NICE, because it is a NICE solution and product. E for employee, because we are focused on employees. Virtual, because she is a software, not a real a person helping. And attended versus virtual agent, because she's attending all the employees need. If you look at the landscape of solutions today, all the virtual assistants are aimed at either the consumers, so Alexa and Siri are all towards the end user, or towards the customer. So for a customer service perspective, a big enterprise would have a virtual agent, a chatbot, a voice bot in his environment to talk to customers. And the employees were neglected, and we believed that there is a room in the market to bring together robotic process automation, robotic desktop automation, and of course the chatbot and voicebot capability, and all of it together encompassed in Neeva. We just put a friendly face and we've avatared the robotic desktop automation, personalized that, and that helps with adoption and with change resistance, and people understand that the robotic desktop automation solution is there to help them and not replace them.
So did you talk a little bit about attendant, and for those of us that don't sit at that desktop, the description that kind of comes in mind is is there's someone there to assist them, kind of on call. I need your help with ... and then the virtual attendant kind of steps into that scenario. Is that really what Neeva is about?
Yes, and much more. So Neeva is there to help the employee. She can do a lot of stuff. She can automate repetitive and mundane tasks. She can aggregate data for him. She can help with compliance issues, read disclaimers or make sure disclaimers are read, reduce error rates, and so on and so forth. A lot of things she can do. The way Neeva comes into play is twofold. It can be reactive or proactive. Reactive meaning Neeva is installed on the desktop and it constantly monitors the desktop activity and everything that happens on the desktop. And the moment something happens on the desktop, a screen event, Neeva can go into play. So the most straightforward example, when an agent start to type a credit card number, Neeva would proactively go and pause the call recording system to make sure we adhere PCI compliance, to make sure that the credit card details are not captured in the same database as the personal customer data. So this is a PCI requirement regulation, and we're there to help with that. So Neeva would identify that the agent is using the credit card number field and proactively go and pause the call recording system. And when he moves to another field, she would proactively go and resume the call. What we added now, and this is the big innovation, is the ability to proactively activate Neeva via voice or chat. So the agent can ask Neeva. Now naturally that fit less scenarios of front office. We don't imagine customer speaking with an agent and in the same time the agent is speaking with Neeva. That would probably be more activated by Neeva chat capability. But for a back office environment or off-call work where an employee can speak to Neeva and say, Neeva, take a note. Neeva, schedule an appointment. Neeva, when is my next break? If you think of an integration, we have out of the box with NICE WFM, for example. So all these sort of things are out there and new capabilities you can bring that are beyond the regular activation from screen element. That being said, the agent can still go and say, Neeva, pause the call. Neeva, what's the inventory level for that product, and so on. So we're providing both the reactive and the proactive triggering for automation.
So Oded, just so that we're clear, a lot of organizations, when they think about NICE, we're very much associated with contact centers and the value that we bring to those organizations. What I'm hearing from you is that this is not strictly a contact center play. Is that fair?
So, 2 years ago, we were considered the best kept secret of the automation market. I do hope that with the marketing activity we did recently, doubling down on digital, on videos, on analyst relations and so on, we were able to change that perspective. That being said, from a legacy standpoint, NICE will always be a big contact center portfolio company. Definitely our automation solution goes above and beyond the contact center. It is aimed mainly to back office environments, corporate shared service environments, so HR, IT, anything that is a big corporate with a big administrative work to it. I can share that last year more than 2/3 of our business was beyond the NICE install base in contact centers, and we definitely continue to see that trend.
So then another kind of thing I want to explore is there's a lot of conversation recently in the media and amongst organizations around chatbots. Is Neeva a chatbot for employees?
So Neeva is definitely not a chatbot for an employee. A chatbot is a certain capability to automate a conversation between a human and a machine. It's a very important capability which we integrated into Neeva, but actually this is not the very smart part. For Neeva we use Amazon Lex chatbot capability or IBM Watson chatbot capability, and if a customer insists to use any other chatbot vendors, we're happy to leverage that. Neeva is a solution and a framework encompassing so much more. On top of the chatbot, Neeva can actually execute tasks on behalf of the employee on the desktop, or even trigger an unattended robot to do the task. So Neeva is encompassing or accumulating all the solutions in the RPA world into one holistic, friendly way to interact with.
So Oded, can you go into maybe a little bit more detail? You had mentioned some of the HR function or shared service function. Can you give one or two examples of how folks really would use Neeva?
So if we take an HR scenario, right,
Okay.
where now, unfortunately, we got a claim, a disclaimer claim, where a female employee is suing the organization for being discriminated, not being promoted as male. Now, someone from HR needs to prepare this case for legal, right? There's a lot of work and a lot of data that need to go into that, preparing this case, right? And by the way, what I'm giving now is a real-life example of how Neeva is being used by one of our customers. But someone would need to make a judgment call from HR, right? But there's a lot of data you need to aggregate. Her performance review versus peers with the performance review. Was she really ranked better, but eventually you're not promoted or didn't get the same raise and so on? So all the data aggregation, logging into the different system, bringing the data, this is something Neeva can help the customer with. Eventually a human would need to take a judgment call. But that happens on the last mile of the work, where Neeva can automate a lot of the repetitive, mundane data aggregation work.
So this is about, there's an efficiency issue here, right? Getting to that answer quicker, really allowing that employee who has been hired for a specific job to really make those decisions in a much more rapid manner. Instead of processing, they're actually making valued decisions.
Yeah. So the holy grail is that when you automate one process and you start gaining all values, so you get efficiency, but you also get employee engagement.
Right.
You also get a reduction in the amount of errors. In some cases, compliance, for example. So another great example, we have a customer who's using it for his anti-money laundering process.
Okay.
So in the anti-money laundering, there's the customer due diligence process. A small new business that requested to open a bank account. Now you need to validate. So first of all, there is a lot of data aggregation. You need to go to LexisNexis and bring a report. You need to go to LinkedIn and find the profile of the CEO to see he's a real person. You need to go to Google and see there is a storefront and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff you need to do. Neeva can do all that for the employee. Now, eventually there is a judgment call happening, and then from the moment we decided that it is a valid bank account request and not a shell corporate trying to open an invalid bank account, then there is updating a lot of the system and authorizing this bank account, which is again a repetitive task that can happen in the background. There is one key step which the employee must do, which is in this case the fraud analyst must do, which is, or the AML analyst must do, which is analyze this request. But anything before can be automated on the desktop, and anything after can be automated unattended mode on the server, and Neeva can do all that. And here you have a relatively expensive employee, because you need someone smart to do AML analysis, more efficient. You have him happier because he's a smart guy, he doesn't want just to pull data from all systems. You have less mistakes because he would never forget to pull the LexisNexis or the FICO score or whatever. So you have less mistakes and you have full compliance adherence. So with automating one process, you get a lot of values and upsides from Neeva.
So Neeva is in market today. We've announced it last week. Organizations want to know more about Neeva. Where do they go? How do they find out about Neeva?
So we're out there, as you said, with Neeva. First of all, we have a dedicated website for Neeva. So just go to nice.com/Neeva. Also nice.com/RPA, you have it there. And Nice have a very big coverage. Neeva fits big organizations, big enterprises. If you're an employee of a big enterprise, there's a very good chance that you have a Nice account executive assigned to your account. Just reach out to your Nice account executive and continue the discussion. Another option is one of our many, many partners. We have over 40 integration partners that are promoting Neeva and doing the professional service work around Neeva, selling Neeva and so on. A list of these partners can be found on the Nice RPA website. Reach out to any one of them to ask about Neeva. They'll be more than happy to educate you on it.
Oded, thanks for sitting down for us. It's really great news. It's exciting to hear about Neeva. Again, congrats on your Everest Peak Matrix. Seriously, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you very much.